What's going on, everybody? My name is Mitch Tabian, and this is going to be another Android Studio tutorial. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make a simple pie chart. So in my pie chart, I'm going to have these numbers represent employee sales, and the colors will represent different employees. So if I click on there, I'm going to get a toast popping up saying the employee name and his sales for the month. Click on that one, different employee, different sales, and last one, different employee, different sales. There's lots of functionality with this too. We're going to be using the MPAndroidChart library. I think this is like the best chart library for making any kind of a plot. I've made a couple other tutorials. I'll put a link up here if you are interested in making. I think I made a line chart one and a bar chart one. So to get started, we're going to head to, you can just type in Google MPAndroidChart and it'll take you to this page probably. So the first thing we'll do is go to the wiki and click on getting started, and first thing we got to do is import the library. So I'll create a new project. So I'm going to call it pie chart tutorial, grab empty activity and build it. So actually, to import the library, we're going to go over to the code tab here and scroll down to here. There's a number of ways you can add the dependency. I just use option 1. It's really easy. So just look in your project where it says all project repositories. It should be in your Gradle, this one right here, I think. Yeah. So we're just going to pop that in there. And the next one we add to our build.gradle. This is a different build.gradle, not this one. So you can see a little note here, do not place your application dependencies here. They belong in individual module build.gradle files. That's this one right here. So we'll throw it in to there, and then we'll rebuild the project. Rebuild the project. There we go, everything's good. Okay, so we can close these. And the next thing we're going to do is add the chart to our view here. You can see there's a number of options. We're just going to grab a pie chart and match parent. Match parent's fine. I'm going to give it an ID. And you can see it occupies the whole view, which is good. We're just going to have it occupy the whole view just like this. And we're ready to start coding. So I'm going to start by adding a tag up here. I've been trying to write my code, I guess you could say, better lately. Just this, you'll see why I put this in. It's for debugging. It just makes it a lot easier when you're debugging your programs. So we're just going to stick our values in here, and we're going to stick our strings to represent the employee names. So there's our employee names. So that's going to be our Y data and our X data, obviously. And we're going to declare our pie chart as a global variable here and import that. So first of all, I'm going to add a log D here. So if you didn't see what I did there, the shortcut is just type log D and it will automatically put this in. So my tag is going to be main activity, and I'm just going to write some notes here. So what this will do, I'll just run it so I can show you. So if we take a look at the logcat, we can see right here, it will log which activity it's working in, which method it's using, because I have a onCreate right here, showing us that it's using the onCreate method, and then a little note. So it's going to be starting to create chart. You can put anything you want there, and we're going to use this in every one of our methods. So next we will declare our pie chart, and then we're going to set a couple properties. Actually, I'm just gonna copy and paste all the ones that I set in the previous one. So the description is down here, sales by employee. The set rotation enabled just lets you spin it. The hole radius is this hole right here, the white hole in the center. The transparent circle alpha, I'll show you what that looks like if there's actually alpha in it, because right now it's set to 0. I'll set it to, I don't know, 25. you can see, okay, so the alpha goes from 0 to 255. If you didn't see what I did there, I just control left clicked and I can see what the value range is. So I'm just gonna set it to 25. So I'm running this right now in the other program that I wrote prior. So you can see this little alpha circle outside here, and I don't want that, so I'm going to set that to 0. Then we have our super cool chart label here in the center, our center text size, which is the super cool chart text, and draw entry labels. I'm not actually even sure what that is. I could probably comment that out. Anyway, so you can, as I said here, you have more options to check out in the documentation. Documentation's really good. You can just browse any of these for setting specific styling settings, and there's tons of functionality, so check that out. So the next thing we're going to do is add the data to the chart, and I'm just going to write the method here, and then we're going to jump into it. So I haven't created this method yet. Create method, here we go. Let's call this chart. We're going to log everything we do. So we can see that here it automatically puts in the method, so it's easy for debugging. And we're just going to say add dataset has started. So it means that this method has been called. So the first thing we're going to do is create two array lists. One is going to be of type PyEntry, and the other one's going to be of type string. So they are there. If you read the documentation, it shows you if you're making a pie chart, you have to create an array list of data points of type PyEntry. Next, we're going to populate the data using for loops. So here's our for loop to loop through the Y data and add it to what the Y entries array list here. So Y entries dot add, and the array list of type PyEntry, you have to enter data of type PyEntry, so that's why we have this here. The next for loop here is going to be for the X data, so we use the X data array that we created up here containing the names, and we just dump that into an array list of type string because they're string types. So now we're going to create the data set. So we're going to use a Py data set, and we're going to set a couple properties for the Py data set. So the text size for the slice space is this slice space right here, and the value text size is the text size of these numbers right here. Next, we're going to add some colors. Since we only have, in this case, we only have 6 data points because we have 6 employees, we're just going to add 6 colors. So next we have to add the colors to the Py dataset. So next we're going to add a legend to the chart. So we create our legend and then just set a couple properties. And obviously this is all in the documentation too, so if you just go to, let's see here, legend, it shows you how to do all this. So the next thing we'll do is create PyData object. So here's our PyData object, and we pass it our PyDataset. As you can see, it takes a data type of PyDataset. Then we just have to set a couple last things. PyChart.set, what is it? Set data, and we pass it our PyData. And then we do PyChart dot invalidate, and we are done. I actually just want to make one correction here though. We don't need to pass, since we made our PyChart global, we don't need to pass it anything, so we're going to get rid of that, and that should be good. So the last thing we're going to do is create an onclick listener, because if you noticed in my demo, when you clicked on it, it showed the employee's name, and it gave a little description of how much they sold that month. So we just go here, click on interaction with the chart, and scroll down. We can see different ways that we can interact with the chart. Actually, the one we're going to look at is highlighting. So we are going to use an onChart value listener. And we're going to use this method right here, onValueSelected. So program here, and we're going to add it after we add the data. So PyChart dot set on chart value selected listener, and we'll go new on chart value selected listener and let it build it for you. So the first thing we're going to do, since we started a new method, is we're going to log it. Go value selected from chart. Cool. So I want to see, just because I don't know how I can work with the data because I don't know what the data looks like. So I need to see what E looks like and I need to see what H looks like. So we can go E.toString, H.toString. So a good thing to do actually now would just be to run it and check out what it looks like. We'll take a look. So it looks pretty good. It's spinning. It doesn't do anything when you click on it because we haven't written that functionality yet. But if we take a look at the log, so you can see the power of logging like this. If we look at this and I click on, I don't know, just click on this one, you can see that we know we're running in main activity. We're inside the method on value selected, and this line right here must be this log right here. So we can see that E.toString is outputting this, and H.toString is outputting all this. Either one we can use. I'm actually in my demo I'm gonna use this one, and we're gonna grab this number because that's the number of total sales they had in that month. So to do that, we're gonna use a substring. First thing we need to do is find the position of the substring. So we know that from the log, we're looking for this position right here where this string exists. So we can put that in there. And then we're going to create a string called sales and do E.toString, grab the substring of position 1, and we're going to use +7 here because we know we want, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 total characters because we just want to grab this. This is otherwise it would return all this, but we want to grab 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, everything after that, so just this. Next thing we're going to do is we need to find the name that is associated with this. So we can use a for loop. So y data equals that, then position 1 equals I, and we can break the loop because we're done. Then go outside the loop and do string employee equals x data, and then we can print out our toast. Okay, so hopefully you saw what I did there. I'm just creating a string called employee. I'm referencing the x data array that we have here, and the position is going to, because these positions match, like 25.3 matches with Mitch, that's the 0th position, and it matches with that 0th position. So that's basically what I've done here. I found the position where this number exists in the y data array, and then took that position and used it to reference this array to get the name that is associated with it. So I think we can run this and it should be good. So everything looks pretty good. So obviously there's a lot more functionality with this library. This is just like a basic tutorial. So definitely read the documentation, check out what you can do. This library is awesome. It's the best one for graphing I've seen so far. I hope this was helpful. If you think it was helpful, don't forget to subscribe, and thanks for watching.